Hello and welcome to Die Rollin. I'm the ever excitable Adam, and I'm more excitable than normal because this is a game I've been looking forward to playing in so long. Dead by Daylight, the board game, the collector's edition by Level 99 Games. This is a computer game I play so much. I love horror games, I love horror films, so it's only natural that Dead by Daylight would pique my interest. So this is the collector's edition. It came in the longest box known to man. We have the generator miniatures in here. I've not opened any of this stuff yet, so I'll take the cellophane off so you haven't got the lovely reflective side of things. But we're going to take a quick look at this. Doesn't tell you anything on the back except death is not an escape. So let's take a look and see how we get on. Okay, so nothing on the inside of the lid. Bit of transit damage there. So if you're like me, you know, you've backed this and you get a bit of damage on there. It's a bit unfortunate. There's a lovely finish on this though. Like it's all kind of raised. Ooh, lovely. So we've got this kind of little card to help you out, like a game overview. Okay, interesting. And then we have something about the collector's components. So the basic game comes with, I don't know, 6 miniatures maybe? 6 survivors and then 6 killers. This one, we've got 10 survivors, 10 killers. And we also have, actually maybe these are 10 additional killers. Yeah, these are 10 additional killers. So we've also got generator hooks, generator minis and hook minis, and the I am looking forward to seeing if you can actually hook your guys on here, because that's hilarious. And we've got deluxe blood points in here as well, which are basically, really nice kind of gems as opposed to the tokens you can just see there. So we've got a rulebook. It's like a matte finish on this. Interesting choice. So all the components. So yeah, in the base game you get 7 survivors and 6 killers. But I've got 17 survivors and 17 killers, which is, it's pretty great, to be fair. We also have two double-sided boards now. So let's take a look through the rulebook. Got a setup there. Gameplay stuff, really big font, really nice image. Iconography even here. And then we've got game modes over here as well. Okay, a little fact as well there. So how many pages was that? About 17 pages worth of stuff. Yeah, 70 pages and then you're good to go. And it's big fonts, so that's great. Okay, so we're going to crack into this. And do you know what? I'm actually going to go through all of this in some detail. Okay, so let's go start with the twins. So these guys, in the computer game, these guys can actually split up and you can run around with little Victor over there, and Charlotte can kind of go around and kind of damage the generators and stuff like that. So we've got Blood Bond. Place Victor in your space. If Victor is already on the game board, remove him before placing him back into your space. Passive at the start of each of your turns, you may take that turn using either Victor or Charlotte. When Victor would pick up a survivor, you gain a blood point instead. Survivors can interact with Victor to remove him. Victor is considered to be the killer when you are taking a turn with him. In all other instances, only Charlotte is the killer. So we've got Coup de Grace, and this is how many blood points it costs to actually affect these abilities, I believe. So as the end nears, you go in for the kill. At the end of your turn, take a killer bonus turn. Instead of playing a new card, reuse a movement card from your last turn. You can only take 1 killer bonus turn per round. Hoarder, you protect what little you have. As an interaction, interact with a chest to remove it and gain 2 blood points. Oppression, life has been difficult for you, so you will make it difficult for others. When you damage a generator, remove a progress from up to 2 other generators anywhere on the game board. And it tells you a little bit about what strategies you do here. So the twins are a cooperative pair of killers able to divide and hunt together using their power, Blood Bond. Victor is a strong control tool and it's useful to keep him in play as much as possible, effectively doubling the threat of your attacks. Oppression will greatly slow down the survivors, and so use this to your advantage early and often. Okay, and then we've got the killer interactions on the other side of things. So are these the same for everyone? Probably. Yeah, so I imagine you've got like, you can have that there and this here. What's unfortunate though, it would have been nice is instead of this, they actually had the story of who the twins are, because in the game you can press like, I think the right analog right D-pad, and you get like their information about who they are, gives you a bit of background on them. So you don't know about how she survived for so long and looked after her brother and stuff. So that's a bit of a shame. That's a missed opportunity maybe. Okay, the Huntress, which is a very recognizable character from this game. The Huntress is a range killer able to throw hunting hatchets at survivors to injure them from a distance. Hunting hatchets will easily keep most survivors wounded, allowing you to focus on making sacrifices. Huntress a lullaby gives you a new way to hunt survivors, especially when they're cornered in rooms with few exits. Hunting hatchets, a survivor in a connected space rolls the danger die. On a failure, they become wounded. Huntress Lullaby, for 2 blood points, you hum an irresistible song of dread which muddles your prey's attention. When a survivor would move with their movement card, discard a copy of that movement card to prevent that move. They may still interact. Beast of Prey. Your lust for a kill makes you totally unpredictable. At the start of the planning phase, move along any path. Territorial Imperative. You are keenly aware of incursions into your territory. After interacting, use your killer power. Which is that, I believe. Okay. The Spirit. The Spirit is a phase-walking killer able to catch survivors off guard with her far-reaching power. Yameiko's Haunting. Always be conscious of the paths that connect your destination and try to move in ways that conserve your best movement cards. It's right to use Yamaoka's Haunting to trigger hex tokens if you don't have better opportunities. Yamaoka's Haunting. Discard a movement card except wait to interact with a healthy survivor or prop in a space connected by that card's path. Rancor, the entity's wrath, grants you unnatural strength. When you move, a wounded survivor in your space moves with you. Haunted Ground. Trespassers in your home fill you with profane rage. After a survivor reveals a prop, swap that prop with another revealed prop from the same category. Generators with progress, pallets on paths, occupied lockers, and occupied hooks can't be swapped though. And Spirit Fury. Each pallet you break magnifies the wrath of the entity. After you break a pallet, gain 2 blood points, and that's a passive kind of ability there. The Plague. The Plague is a devout killer able to infect and disable survivors using her power, Vile Purge. Vile Purge starts off slowly, but it can quickly overwhelm survivors in the late game. Try to reserve your perks for when they can secure you wounds or free sacrifice progressions. So, power, Vile Purge. Choose a connected space, place a Vile Purge in both your space and the connected space. No more than 1 Vile Purge may be in each space. When a survivor enters a space with a Vile Purge, they take it and cover one of their perks with it. Covered perks cannot be used. When a survivor gains their 3rd Vile Purge, they discard all of them and become wounded. If the survivor was already wounded, gain a sacrifice progress. When a survivor interacts with a locker, they remove 1 Vile Purge and place it on their space, or remove it if the space already has one. That's pretty interesting. I like the idea of that. Dark Devotion. The display of your power creates a whirlwind of panic that spreads throughout the land. The starter cleanup, move a survivor in your space or a connected space along any path. Corrupt Intervention, your prayers invoke a dark power that meddles with the survivor's chance of survival. The start of the planning phase, place the entity on a revealed generator in any space. It cannot be interacted with. And Infectious Fright. The cries of the unfaithful make your heart leap. After you attack a healthy survivor, move a survivor in connected space along any path. So she's going to be moving people all over the place, which is really going to screw with the survivor's plans. The Death Slinger. The Death Slinger is a vengeful killer, able to spear survivors from a distance and reel them in using his power, the Redeemer. Unlike most powers, Redeemer excels at securing sacrifices. Try to position yourself near hooks when using this power so there's no chance of losing your quarry after hitting a shot. Choose a wounded survivor in a connected space without a pallet or breakable wall on its path. Secretly discard a movement card. The chosen survivor guesses that movement card, then you reveal it. If they guess incorrectly, they move into your space and you pick them up. Oof. Gearhead. You've got an ear for well-oiled gears. After you damage a generator, interact again in your space. Retribution. Those who cross you will be punished. When a survivor attempts to cleanse a hex token, they roll the danger die instead. On a success, you gain 2 blood points. And Dead Man Switch. Your machinations render escape impossible. After you sacrifice a survivor, a generator or exit gate of your choice loses a progress. Great. Then we have the Clown. The clown is a strategic killer able to control and corral survivors by throwing bottles of the afterpiece tonic to create clouds of noxious gas that cover large areas. Bamboozle and Colophobia gives you strong tools to control survivors' path. You must rely on your own attack to wound survivors, but afterpiece antidote can be used to correct missed opportunities. So yeah, this guy in the game basically just chucks a bunch of these potions around at people. So let's see how they work in this. Place your afterpiece tonic or afterpiece antidote in your space or a connected space. You may remove an existing afterpiece tonic or afterpiece antidote to place a new one. So when a survivor in the space with your afterpiece tonic, while a survivor is in the space with the afterpiece tonic, they set their movement cards face up so you know where they're going to go, which is really, really useful for this guy. Well, for any killer. And then when the killer or a survivor enters the space with your afterpiece antidote, that killer or survivor may move again along any other path before interacting, which can help speed you up, but obviously can also help the survivors with their escape. Chorophobia, your gaze inspires fear in those who meet it. When a survivor would move into your space, prevent that move. The survivor cannot interact during this turn. Bamboozle, the entity's realm shifts and twists around you at the start of the planning phase. Place the entity on a path. Players treat it as a breakable wall. You may pass through it freely. And then Pop Goes a Weasel. A deep bond with the entity unlocks great strength. After wounding or sacrificing the survivor, remove a crow, an unoccupied locker, or a chest in a connected space. The Legion, this is Lee's favourite character. The Legion are a band of merciless killers able to rush down healthy survivors with their power, fear, or frenzy. Your power and perks are designed to intimidate, so be aware that you're getting value even when you're not using them. Be sure to keep resources on hand so you can punish survivors who work together. Fear or frenzy, each survivor in your space becomes wounded. If at least one survivor was already wounded, gain a blood point. Mad Grit. You are distracted by a struggling load. While attempting to sacrifice a survivor, when you enter a space with another survivor, wound that survivor. Discordance. You can sense where others are gathered. When a survivor enters the same space as another survivor, gain a blood point for each survivor and killer in that space. Then Iron Maiden. When a hook is out of reach, you improvise. Before interacting, swap the positions of an unoccupied locker and an unoccupied hook anywhere on the game board. Okay, we've got another 3 of these guys left. Unfortunately, they've released a bunch of a slew of more killers on Dead by Daylight. So I'm kind of hoping they're going to bring out more of these, depending on how the game is. Like, I've not played this. Hopefully it's fun, because I've got a lot of content here to get through. But yeah, I'd love to see some of the other survivors and killers come into this, especially the licensed ones, but that's harder, I guess. The Oni. The Oni is a monstrous killer able to absorb the blood energy of his injured foes and then use that energy to transform into a brutal demon. With unparalleled blood point generation, you'll be able to take many bonus turns, use these and your powerful perks opportunistically to make devastating plays. Yamaoka's Wrath. Gain a blood point for each wounded survivor and hex totem in your space and connected spaces. Blood Echo. The agony of one is inflicted on others. After you sacrifice a survivor in a connected space becomes wounded. Zanshin Tactics. You're mentally alert and aware of key points on the battlefield. At the start of your turn, discard a set movement card and replace it with a new one. And Nemesis. You seek retribution on those who have wronged you. After a survivor interacts with a pallet or locker in your space or a connected space, remove the pallet or locker. The Blight. I took a bit of a break from playing Dead by Daylight, and when I came back, the Blight was a new killer, and I absolutely, I enjoyed playing the Blight, but he's really tricky on the game. I don't especially enjoy playing as him. Shh, don't tell anyone. The Blight is an unpredictable killer, able to rush forward in a burst of speed and rebound off obstacles to injure survivors using his power, Blighted Corruption. It can be useful when moving to fully commit to one color of path for both of your movements. Your perks can also help filter your hand and increase the success of Blighted Corruption. So, Blighted Corruption, shuffle your hand and discard a movement card at random, then move along the card's path. If you entered another space with this movement, you may then choose to interact with that space or to repeat this effect. If you have no movement cards in hand, you cannot use this killer power. Passive, you begin the game with an additional copy of each movement card, but with no copies of weight, for a total of 8 cards. Blood Favor. Gain the entity's favor when blood is spilled. Start to clean up if all survivors are wounded and no survivors are sacrificed. Gain a sacrifice progress. Dragon's Grip. Your supernatural strength cascades through their bones. When you damage a generator, discard up to 2 movement cards. Each survivor in a space connected to that generator by either card's path either spends a blood point or becomes wounded. The vital powers that flow throughout the trial coalesce around you with Undying. As an interaction, discard a movement card except weight to interact with a prop in a space connected by that card's path. So he's going to be zooming all over the place. And then we have the Trickster. The Trickster is a ranged killer able to quickly unleash a flurry of blades by using his power Showstopper. Prioritize Showstopper anytime you can distribute at least 3 knives. Use No Way Out every opportunity you get. The extra time you buy will give you more opportunities to secure wounds and sacrifice progression. I really enjoy this little stuff up here. They give you a good idea of how to use these things. This is fantastic. So Showstopper, each survivor in your space and connected space gains a knife. Survivor's maximum blood point decreases by 2 for each knife they have. Survivors discard any blood points beyond their maximum. After a survivor interacts with a locker, they discard all of their knives. When a survivor gains their 3rd knife, they become wounded. If a survivor would gain a 4th knife, gain a sacrifice progress instead. A survivor with 3 knives cannot become healthy. Ooh. No Way Out. You're not going to let just anyone in the VIP room. When a survivor with fewer blood points than you would interact with the generator or the exit gates, prevent that interaction. Crowd control. Those lesser than you must be properly herded. The start of the planning phase, choose a survivor. Survivors may collectively spend 2 blood points. Otherwise, you select what movement card that chosen survivor will set from the hand for the turn. Starstruck. Your unmatched showmanship dazzles all. When you would pick up a survivor, move along any path, and then pick up a different survivor instead. They don't need to be wounded. Ooh, that is annoying. It honestly is a real shame they don't have the information about these killers on there. Like, hopefully, I don't think there is, but hopefully there's somewhere in here that tells you about these killers and their backgrounds, because like just looking at that, you have no idea who this guy is. But his background's pretty fun. All of them have interesting stories that are written out, and it's just a shame they've not put that into this. So we've got our collector's edition kind of items there. We've got the knives for the showstoppers, we've got the vial purge tokens, and the afterpiece tonics there. I'm just going to pop one of these bad boys out, see what kind of thickness we got in these tokens, guys. That's not bad. I'm gonna put it back in. Okay, let's go to the killers you're gonna get if you've just got a regular, boring old resale edition of this. But you guys have got the classics with this one. So, we're starting off with the Doctor. The Doctor is a madness-inducing killer able to use his power Carter's Spark to incapacitate survivors. Overcharge is your primary tool for wounding survivors. Use madness to slow their progress and build blood points, as you will need to use bonus turns to secure sacrifices. So Carter's Spark, choose your space or a connected space. Each survivor in that space without madness either spends a blood point or gains madness. Survivors who already have madness either spend a blood point or become wounded. Survivors with madness roll the danger die for all skill checks. On a failure, they lose madness. The blood point cost of your killer bonus turn is reduced by 1 for each survivor with madness. Monitor and abuse, meticulously in your approach, terrifying in your application. At the start of cleanup, if there are no sacrifice survivors, gain a blood point. Overcharge, you are fueled by your hate for progress. After you damage a generator, a survivor in your space or a connected space becomes wounded. Overwhelming presence, your mere presence ignites panic among your prey. When a survivor in your space or a connected space uses an item, they roll the danger die. On a failure, the item is discarded with no effect. Ooh. We have the Hag, who I have a great skin for her of the Gill Man from Creature of the Black Lagoon, and she basically teleports all around the map, which is fantastic fun. The Hag is a curse killer able to place phantasm traps and then teleport to them upon activation by using her power. Place a phantasm trap every turn if you're able, and prioritize rooms with generators. Not only will phantasm traps generate a lot of blood points, but they'll often give you cheap or free attacks. So, Blackened Catalyst. Place a phantasm trap in your space. There is a hex totem in your space, gain a blood point. No more than 1 phantasm trap may be in each space. Passive. Whenever a survivor enters a space with a phantasm trap, remove the trap and the survivor rolls a skill check die. You may then choose to gain a blood point or spend a blood point equal to the number shown on the die to move directly to the trap space and interact with the survivor in that space. Since a skill check failure is 0, you can teleport and interact for free in that case. The Third Seal. Your dark power muddies the survivor's senses. At the start of the planning phase, discard a movement card. During this turn, copies of that movement card used by survivors do not move them. If they do not move, they cannot interact. Devour Hope. The false hope of survivors ignites your hunger. At the start of cleanup, if a generator was completed this round, take a killer bonus turn. You can only take 1 killer bonus turn per round. And then Ruin. Your presence bleeds into the environment, accelerating natural deterioration. Start the planning phase, remove a progress from a generator as long as there are no survivors in that generator's space. The Trapper. He basically puts lovely bear traps all over the place and catches people. He's great. The Trapper is an area control killer, able to apply pressure across the board by placing deadly bear traps for survivors to step into. Use bear traps early to lock down key routes on the board. Avoid breaking walls when possible to force the survivors over your traps more often. Bear trap. Place a bear trap on a connected path without a pallet, breakable wall, or another component. You may remove an existing bear trap to place a new one. When a survivor moves along a path with a bear trap, they roll the danger die. On a failure, remove the bear trap and the survivor becomes wounded. If the survivor is already wounded, gain a sacrifice progress. Brutal strength. Your great strength allows you to shred through your prey's defenses. After you attack a healthy survivor, move them along any path. If you move them through a pallet or breakable wall, destroy the pallet or breakable wall. Unnerving presence. Your presence alone instills great fear. When a survivor in your space or a connected space would perform a skill check, they roll the danger die instead. Agitation. You get excited in anticipation of hooking your prey. After you attack a healthy survivor, move along any path. The Wraith, this guy is invisible, so I'm interested to see how they do that in this here. So the Wraith even is a stealth killer, able to threaten the entire board simultaneously with his power, Wailing Bell. Use Wailing Bell as your first interaction if you miss a survivor to set up your second move attack. Using the bell is slow, so prioritize scoring 2 normal attacks when you can. Shadowborn can make up for lost time. So Wailing Bell, move directly to a space that is not connected to your space, so teleport. Shadowborn, you have a keen vision in the darkness of the night. At the end of the planning phase, place a third movement card. This will allow you to take a third turn. You can't take killer bonus turns this round. Bloodhound, like a hound, you smell traces of blood at a great distance. After you sacrifice the survivor, they lose a blood point and you gain a blood point. You still gain a blood point even if they do not have any to lose. Predator, you possess an acute tracking ability. At the end of the planning phase, choose a survivor. They discard their set movement card, then replace it with a new one. The Hillbilly, this guy has a chainsaw and chases all over the place. So the Hillbilly is a high mobility killer, able to cover large distances and wound survivors using his chainsaw. Try to stay near the center of the board where your leftover movement cards are most effective even. The chainsaw can also be used for extra mobility, not just attacking. Chainsaw, discard a movement card, except wait to move along that card's path. When using this power, you cannot move along paths with pallets, breakable walls, or any other components. A survivor in the space you entered becomes wounded. Lightborn. Unlike other beasts of the fog, you have adapted to light. At the end of the planning phase, reveal one of your set movement cards and gain a blood point. Enduring. Let nothing stand in your way. When you move along a path with a pallet, destroy the pallet and complete your turn as normal. You can still interact this turn. And Tinkerer. You're acutely aware of the smells and sounds of working engines. When a generator is completed, pick up and replace one of your set movement cards with a different card from your hand. And then the Nurse. Easy. The Nurse is a warping killer, able to blink through obstacles and quickly close gaps with her power. Spencer's Last Breath doesn't wound survivors, but allows you to hold on to your weight movement to use during a bonus turn. Consider Stridor your main tool for hunting survivors. So Spencer's Last Breath. Move to any connected space, ignoring pallets and breakable walls. When using this power, you may also move against one-way paths. Strider, you are acutely sensitive to the breathing of your prey. Start at the planning phase, choose a wounded survivor. They must play their movement card face up before you or any other survivor. Thanatophobia. Their courage fades in the face of their undeniable mortality. When a wounded survivor would perform a skill check, they roll the danger die instead, and the Nurse is calling. You're drawn to those in need of help. After the survivor becomes healthy, gain 2 blood points. So guys, that's the 17, I think, killers you get in this, which is a lot of, there's a lot of gameplay there. So yeah, I'm not kind of that thrilled that this is on every one of them. Like, they really could have, I mean, they're all the same, I believe. They really could have just, well, anyway, I could go on forever and ever about that stuff. So what else we got here? Level 99's catalog, so you can see other stuff they've got. We've got some boards here. I should have 2 boards in this, so let's see if they screwed me over or they actually put in both boards. So we've got the Crotus Pen Asylum. When I first saw this game, I was disappointed. I was really hoping they'd have like kind of like Zombicide style miniatures of like tiles of an actual board, and you'd be moving around and going to generators. So I'm a little disappointed that this is the board they went for. But gameplay wise, it kind of makes sense. You're going to be playing like colored cards to move along these certain paths. So yeah, we'll see how this works. I am interested to see how it goes. But yeah, this is the Crotus Pen Asylum. And I recognize all these places from the game, which is fantastic. They don't have the little horsey Morris in there, which is a shame. But yeah, and the other side we've got, it's a bit cold in Ormond. So this is like a wintry map. And I imagine that the kind of movement's very different for each one. So you can see like lots of kind of green around the outside there, all these kind of sneaky ones. And this one's got a totally different setup. There's no green, well, there's a little green there on the outside, but the different paths are different. So I imagine there's strategy to each of these boards of which ones to kind of go for. So, checking to see if I've got another board. I do have another board. So let's take a look at the other one. And we just had a little sight of the miniatures there. And over here there's a gap, but that's for the generators, I believe. I'm going to say the miniatures for last, guys. So, Autohaven Wreckers there. Yep, so this is an interesting map as well. All the bits from the game. And finally, you have the Macmillan Estate. Home to the Trapper, I believe. So yeah, was there any other maps I would have preferred to have? I don't think so. These are pretty iconic for the game. But yeah, if this game does well, I can imagine they could just release an update with new killers, new survivors, and yeah, new maps, I guess. So we're going to go through all these guys now. So I'm going to start with the guys you get in the base boring set. Okay, my legs are seizing up from standing up for so long doing this. 26 minutes of an unboxing so far. Feng Ming. Feng Ming is an objective-focused competitor who can quickly adapt to strategy to meet a vast range of challenging situations. I have true sight, Feng Ming. So, lithe, your agility grants a competitive edge over larger rivals. When you move over a pallet or out of a space with a pallet during your turn, move again along any other path before interacting, if you would interact. Alert, your acute senses are on high alert. When the killer breaks a pallet, moves through a breakable wall, or damages a generator, move along any path. And technician, you are apt at handling machinery with the greatest care and precision. When you roll a failure while interacting with a generator, interact again. The second interaction must target a different prop or survivor. And again, we've got all different interactions on the back there. Ace Visconti is a lucky gambler, improving the odds of the entire team. What can I say? I'm just a very lucky guy. I'm sure some of it will rub off on you. Open-handed. Paying attention has kept you alive through the years. The start of any survivor turn, reveal one of the killer's set movement cards. Ace in the hole. Lady Luck always seems to be throwing something good your way. Before you interact, swap a prop in your space with another from the same category in a connected space. Generators with progress, occupied lockers, and occupied hooks cannot be swapped. Up the ante at the and all will be well in the end, you just know it. At the end of your turn, take a survivor's bonus turn. The killer gains 2 blood points. That's good, he gets another activation. That's pretty helpful. Nia Carlson is an urban artist able to easily escape and hide. The paint is still fresh, but I'm long gone. Balanced landing, your agility and cat-like reflexes are incomparable. Instead of interacting during your turn, move along any path, including against a one-way path. Then gain a blood point. Urban evasion. Years of evading the cops taught you a thing or two about stealth. At the start of any survivor turn, remove a breakable wall from play. Return it to play in the same path at the end of that survivor turn. And streetwise, long nights out taught you to do a lot with what you've got. After you interact with the chest is not removed. Claudette Morel is a studious botanist able to boost her team's survivability as well as her own. Basic botany knowledge could save your life someday. Botany knowledge. You can transform common plants into healing tinctures. Before or after moving during your turn, roll the danger die. On a success, another survivor in your space becomes healthy. You can still interact this turn. Empathy. You can understand others intuitively, and this helps you ease their pain. At the start of your turn, you may take a blood point from a willing survivor, or you may give a blood point to a willing survivor. Self-care. You know a thing too about first aid. Start your turn, roll the danger die. On a success, you become healthy. So that's pretty handy. She's your healer for this. Jake Park is a solitary survivalist, able to hold his own in most situations. Life, when you take away the fancy dressing, is just survival. Iron Will, you can concentrate in order to push through any obstacle. When you or another survivor in your space or a connected space rolls a failure, treat it as a success instead. The killer still gains blood points, however. Calm spirit, animals seem to trust you as they often stay calm in your presence. As an interaction, move a crow in your space to any space on the game board. Saboteur, sometimes the best defense is strong offense. After you sabotage your hook, either gain a blood point or spend 2 blood points to take a survivor bonus turn. And then Dwight Fairfield is a nervous leader able to locate his allies and increase their effectiveness. We have to work as a team. I need to survive so that I can survive. Prove thyself. You inspire others around you with positive peer pressure. When you would interact, another survivor in your space or a connected space interacts instead. Leader, you're able to organize a team to cooperate more efficiently. When another survivor in your space moves, move with them, or when you move, another survivor in your space moves with you. Bond. Shared experience have formed a bond between you and your friends. When another survivor in your space or a connected space would make a skill check, roll 2 skill checks dice, and keep either result instead. That is really helpful. And then Meg Thomas, who was my favorite character in this. I've leveled her up too many times. Meg Thomas is an energetic athlete able to outrun most killers. Running isn't giving up. It means you still have the will to live. Sprint burst. When running, you're hard to catch. After you move with your movement card, move again along any other path. Adrenaline, you are fueled by unexpected energy when on the verge of escape. Start a cleanup. If a generator was completed this round, take a survivor bonus turn. And then quick and quiet, you make less noise when running and hiding. When the killer enters your space, before they interact with a locker in your space. So that's our base survivors. And then we've got another 10. Okay, so Yun Jin Lee is a self-interested music producer able to advance her goals during turbulent times. The weak are sacrificed first. Its nature, its business, it's a truth most refuse to face. Fast track. Sometimes the sacrifice of others is necessary to get ahead. After the turn, when another survivor is wounded or sacrificed, interact with the generator in your space. Smash hit. When your rival makes a mistake, you seize the opportunity. When the killer breaks a pallet, move through a breakable wall, or damages a generator, gain a blood point. And self-preservation, life is unforgiving. Sometimes it's best to keep your head down. After the turn, when another survivor is wounded or sacrificed, interact with a locker in your space. Kate Denson, who in the game looks like Sweet D from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Kate Denson is a hopeful songbird, able to make the most of her surroundings. Another show-offs and running. I dance with me cause there's a storm a-coming. Follow my boots, try to keep up. I dance with me until sunup. That's Kate Denson's song, apparently. Windows of opportunity. You see opportunities that others might have missed. You may interact with a survival or altruism prop in a connected space. If that prop was a locker, move into that space. Boil over, you are a battler and do everything to escape a foe's grasp. When you or another survivor in your space is picked up, after the killer decides how many dice to roll, the survivor who is picked up may roll 4 skill check dice instead of the number the killer chose. Dance with me, or dance with me. You know your way around the dance floor. After you move, if you occupied a lock at the start of the turn, move again along any other path before interacting. Jeff Johansson is a quiet artist with a heart of gold, standing steadfast against impossible odds. Charged from the belly of the beast. Here's a sketch painting on a piece of wood I saw by the side of this road. I felt like it got a story to tell. It didn't waste its second chance. Breakdown. You see the potential in things others might toss away. After you sabotage an occupied hook or the hook you are on is sabotaged by another survivor, roll the danger die. On a success, the killer loses the sacrifice progress. Aftercare. One good deed can make all the difference. After you or another survivor becomes healthy, sabotage an unoccupied hook anywhere on the game board. Distortion. Your calm demeanor belies subtle cunning. After you move into the killer's space during your turn, move again along any other path before interacting. Yui Kimura is a hardened street racer able to gain advantages for her and her fellow survivors in challenging situations. That's not enough to beat me, not even close. Breakout. You kick into high gear when someone is in trouble. At the start of your turn, move a wounded survivor along any path. Lucky break. You've had your share of scrapes and bruises, but luck is always on your side. After any survivor rolls a great success, you become healthy. Any means necessary. You'll go to any length to gain an advantage. At the end of your turn, if you are healthy, become wounded to take a survivor bonus turn. Felix Richter is a visionary architect able to use his relentless determination to form a plan and help other survivors. When they come with a wrecking ball, build stronger walls. Desperate measures. You refuse to fail, even during your darkest hour. After performing your first interaction, interact again. The second interaction must target a survival prop. Visionary. You're remarkably focused on your means of escape. When you would reveal a prop, reveal any prop in a connected space instead. Built to last. You know how to get the most out of your tools. When you would discard an item after using it, keep it instead. You cannot use it again during this turn. David King is a rugged scrapper, rewarding a high-risk play. If it were a right dust-up, I swear down. No mither. Go on out, kid, it's just a scratch. When the killer interacts with a healthy survivor in your space, roll a danger die. On a success, the survivor remains healthy and the killer gains a blood point. Dead hard. You can take a beating and keep on going. When another survivor is in your space would be sacrificed, roll the danger die. On a success, that survivor moves along any path instead of being sacrificed. When going, we're gonna live forever. Your few friends deserve the best protection. When the killer would leave your space, prevent that move. The killer can still interact in your space. Adam Francis, great name, Adam, is a resourceful teacher able to adapt to new circumstances and develop strategies accordingly. There's no limit to what you can achieve as long as you back it up with hard work. Diversion. You're willing to risk life and limb to give your friends a few precious seconds. As an interaction, interact with the killer to move them along any path. The killer gains a blood point. Autodidact. There's no limit to what you can achieve with hard work. When you or another survivor in your space or a connected space rolls a success, change result to a great success instead. Deliverance. You are always on the lookout for ways to help others. After you sabotage an occupied hook, or the hook you are on is sabotaged by another player, either you or the other survivor becomes healthy. Your choice. Jane Romero is an influential celebrity going against the grain to tackle challenges head on. People are remembered for the challenges they overcome. Achieving goals boosts your confidence. When a survivor rolls a great success during a skill check on a survivor turn, that survivor takes a survivor bonus turn. Solidarity, sharing painful experiences has the power to heal. As an interaction, you may interact with another survivor in a connected space to use their heal interaction on them. Head on, when your mind is set, there better be no one standing in your way. After the killer enters your space, remove a locker in your space to prevent that killer from interacting this turn. That's pretty cool representation of the video game, because yeah, you basically come out of the locker and stun the killer. Serena Kassir is a plucky documentarian able to use her street smarts to avoid detection and greatly assist other survivors. We can write our own story and decide how it really ends. Red herring. You notice that people pay attention to whatever makes the loudest noise. When the killer would interact with you or another survivor in your space, force him to interact with a generator in that space instead. If the generator had 2 progress, gain a blood point. For the people, you risk life and injury for others. After you enter a space, if you're not wounded, become wounded to have another survivor in your space become healthy, or to add a progress to a generator. You can still interact this turn. Off the record, you've learned that a quiet approach is sometimes best. When you're another survivor in your space or a connected space rolls a failure, you gain a blood point instead of the killer. Elodie Rakota is an occult investigator able to use cunning, tricks, and stubborn resolve to keep herself alive. I relied on others to protect me once and I lost everything. Never again. Power struggle. You've never given up and you're not about to start now. As an interaction, interact with a killer to reveal the first set movement card. They cannot interact after moving with their first card. The killer gains 2 blood points. Appraisal. You have a careful eye that notices that what many overlook. When another survivor would discard an item, you gain it instead. If you have more than one item, discard it until you only have one. And deception. Your adventurous lifestyle requires moments of crafty misdirection. When you would move during your turn, remain in your space instead. You cannot interact this turn and you gain a blood point. Wow, I'm kind of disappointed because I thought there was going to be the witch character. I can't remember her name. But anyway, that's all the characters you get in this. We've got some tokens here. So you can see we've got our progress tokens there. We've got our kind of hex traps there. We've got our bear traps. These madness tokens, I believe. We've got hooks there. We've got our breakable barriers. We've got our blood points. Then we've got crows. We've got pallets. We've got lockers. Yeah. We've got chests. We've got totems. We've got hooks. We've got generators. And we've got the exit gates there. And the entity token there. And this, maybe the first player token. Okay. So let's take a look at the deluxe blood point tokens. They look like sweets. I honestly feel like I should eat those. So yeah, we've got deluxe blood points there. Fair play. We've got some pegs. These pegs are going to go into the generators to show the progress. We've got these little blood splatter rings. Not sure what they're for. We've got our custom dice. Nice. They are chunky boys. And I love the artwork they've gone for. That's fantastic. Okay, now you'll notice there's also some cards down here. But why the cards? Well, quite interestingly, we've obviously got our movement cards in here and stuff. But there is a version you can play this game, a variant, where basically you've got all your stuff here, but you can actually replace them with other perks. So you can actually set up your entire like layout. So the first time you play this, you'll be playing with whatever they've got here. Then going forward, you might want to play with a custom setup, something that you really appreciate. We also have items here as well. So when you go searching in those chests, you are going to find some items. So let's take a look at items in here. So first aid kit, discard this during any survivor's turn to have yourself or another survivor in your space become healthy. So you got 3 of those in there. Toolbox, discard this during your turn to add a progress to a generator in your space. Broken key, discard this at any time to allow any survivor to reroll any die or gain a blood point. Firecrackers, discard this at any time to remove a breakable wall in a connected space or to prevent the killer from moving into your space. Flashlight, discard this during the killer's turn to prevent the killer in your space from interacting. A dull key, discard this at any time to allow any survivor to reroll any die or gain 2 blood points. Skeleton key, discard this at any time to allow any survivor to reroll or any die or gain 3 blood points. We have a map, discard this during any survivor's turn to reveal up to 3 props anywhere on the game board or to draw another item. Rainbow map, discard this during any survivor's turn to reveal up to 3 props anywhere on the game board or to reveal all of the killer's movement cards. And then a commodious toolbox, discard this during any survivor's turn to add a progress to a generator in your space, then draw an item. So they're the items you get in this game. And then these are just our killer and survivor decks of cards here. And these are things that actually aren't in here. So we've got a bunch of additional abilities here which are not represented on the thing. So Monstrous Shine, your fervent care of the hooks has aroused the entity's interest. I've sacrificed a survivor if there are no other survivors in your space, gain 2 blood points. Spies from the shadow, the entity's servants speak to you. When a crow is revealed, gain a blood point. Thrill of the hunt, the false hope of survivors fills you with excitement. When a survivor leaves your space, move with them. Bitter murmur, the bitter whispers of the entity drive you forward. After you move along a one-way path or breakable wall, move again along any path before interacting. Deerstalker, you know how to track weak and prey. When a wounded survivor leaves your space, they roll the danger die. On a failure, they remain in place and cannot interact this turn. Insidious unlocks your stealth ability. When you attack a healthy survivor, if you have not moved this turn, pick them up instead. No one escapes death. A dark force drives you when your prey are on the verge of escaping. At the end of your turn, if the exit gates are powered up, take a killer bonus turn. You can only take 1 killer bonus turn per round. Whispers, you have a rudimentary understanding of the entity's voice. The start of the planning phase, choose a survivor. That survivor either chooses to spend a blood point or place their movement cards face up. Sloppy Butcher, you know where to hit to make them bleed. When a survivor attempts to heal, they roll the danger die instead. Unrelenting, a dark power motivates you to continue the hunt. After interacting with a survivor in your space, interact with a different survivor in your space. Distressing, your horrifying emanation strikes at a supernaturally long distance. After a survivor moves into a space containing a locker, they interact with the locker. Iron Grasp, your powerful grasp on survivors causes escape to be nearly impossible. After a survivor rolls the dice during a sacrifice attempt, they reroll a skill check die. Overcharge, you're fueled by your hate for progress. So this was from the Doctor, right? After you damage a generator, a survivor in your space or a connected space becomes wounded. Overwhelming presence, your mere presence ignites panic among your prey when a survivor in your space or a connected space uses an item, they roll the danger die instead. On a failure, the item is discarded with no effect. I'm now thinking I've actually already read some of these. Maybe these are actually ones which are on the killers. So if I have read that already and I've wasted your time, I'm sorry. I'm just going to show you all the cards we've got in here. I won't read through all more. But there were so many of them, I might just be repeating myself now. So that's all of those. These are our movement cards. Crouches, sneaks, sprints, and vaults. And there's a weight. And we've also got some more in there as well. Now, I was certain every player would have their own set of movement cards, but there only seems to be like, well, there should be 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's 5 in there, and there's extra here for the killer, but there's only 1 weight card in there, which I'm surprised at, because I thought there'd be like 5 weight cards. Maybe they're in another deck. So we've got all the abilities there of our survivors. Okay. Yeah, there is only 1 weight card, so that's fine. Okay, so that's all that. Let's get into the miniatures. So we're going to open this up first and see what kind of state these are in. So they gave you some extra protection. And what do we have here? Well, we have our generator. That is fantastic. I'm really proud, pleased with that. That is such a good mini. That's much better than I thought it'd be. And you've got a ton of those in here. And we're going to do the test, guys. We've got to do it. So let's take a look. 1, 2, 3, and there's our complete generator. Well, great job, guys. That's fantastic. How this is going to fit back in here, I do not know. Well, okay, well, we'll have to take a look and see how these all fit into the main thing, if at all. So let's take a look at our base set of killers. So I imagine if you just have the base game, it's just this. And then if you have anything else, you've got all this as well. So we're going to go for the killers first. So we have the Wraith there. That is such a cool looking mini. I'm so chuffed with that. We have our Doctor mini. Our Hillbilly. Our Trapper. Our Nurse. They've done really well with that as well because she floats around the levels, so they've really thought about that. Then we have our Hag. Okay, see if I remember the names of the people. So there's Jake. There's a little Hook. I need to find the hooks, and we've got to do a test. Sorry, Jake, you're going to get hooked, mate. There they are. There are the hooks. They look so cool. Look at that. That's fantastic. Oh, and the generator looks like you can put it in there. Let's see. Oh my God, they've thought about it, guys. So there is our hook. Heroes of Survivor. Oh my God. That is so fun. I'm loving that. That's so cool. So yeah, he proper hooks on there, guys. So you can go and put him on. And they go when he comes off. So there's Yake. Nia Carlson. Meg. Claudette. Feng Ming. Dwight Fairfield. Ace Visconti. Okay, I think I got those right. If I didn't get them right, let me know below, and I will leave my Dead by Daylight card at the door. So let's take a look at the expansion stuff, or the collector stuff. So we have the Clown there with the Afterpiece tonic. We have got Charlotte, one of the twins there. You see that nice little kind of bit in her ribcage there. That's where little dude Victor comes from, who looks really cute. He just wants a little hug, bless him. It'd be really fun if they had a mini that could actually fit inside her there. But that's great. We've got the Plague. All her finery. We have, of course, the Huntress, looking so cool. Like, honestly, they've done a fantastic job here. We've got the Blight. We've got the Spirit, and including her skin's not quite attached to each other. Like, the way they've done it is great, how they've had that all kind of like apart. Then we have the Gunslinger. There he is like that. And then we've got the Oni. We have the Trickster. And we have the Legion as well. Okay, then survival-wise, we've got Adam Francis there. Like I say, I don't know all the survivors from just looking at them. Most of them, though, we've got Kate there. We've got Jane Romero. We've got Richter Felix, is it? Yeah. We've got David King, not the David King I know. We've got, I want to say Elos. I honestly can't remember her name. But yeah, we've got this lady. Great little setup there. We've got Zarina. No, that's not even her, because that's her. I can't remember her name. But that is somebody else. One of the Asian characters, I can't remember her name. And then we have, I have literally no idea. Zero idea who that person is. So yeah, maybe that's the producer. Yeah, maybe. So guys, this is it. This is everything you get inside. And we're gonna have a quick look underneath. Nothing under there, just in case. Nothing under there. Now, I imagine that these are to say, that's what these are for. These are to say your characters are wounded. So you'd put these around the base of your character. So we hooked old Jakey boy on there, and then he's going to be having this to walk around with. Let's see if that clips in. Yeah, so he's walking around with that. So that you know he is wounded. Guys, that is it for my unboxing of this. I'm sorry this was like nearly an hour long, but I wanted to go through each and every component with you guys to go through in detail. I got some of this stuff wrong, like for instance, yeah, I'm fairly certain these are just the killer's abilities and the player's abilities in this. Nothing else from that. But yeah, when you've read so many things, it can be easy to repeat yourself, I guess. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, then please make sure you stay tuned to the channel, because we will be doing full gameplay with at least one of these killers. I'm going to paint these guys up, so if you want to see that, then check us out on the Instagram. I'm not going to reel off all the places you can find us, because you can find those in the links below. I've been the ever excitable Adam. Until next time, guys, stay safe or die rolling.